Welcome to writing lesson number 1, an overview of the writing section for the general module. All you need for this lesson is your workbook. After this lesson, you will have a clear overview of what to expect in the writing section. You will get some tips and strategies on how best to approach the writing tasks, and you will have a chance to practice the questions using real IELTS materials in the lessons. Now we're going to look at the format of the writing section. It's the third and last part of the test, which is in the test room, and it lasts 60 minutes. There are 2 tasks, and we recommend you spend 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 on task 2. You have to complete both tasks in an hour. Task 1 is to write a letter, either formal, semi-formal or informal, and task 2 is writing a discursive essay. So you have to write an essay answering a task or a title using your own arguments and opinions with supporting ideas. You can write using a pen or pencil, and you can make notes on the task booklet, and you write your answers on an answer sheet. You will get 2 different sheets, one for each task. Now we will have a look at how the writing section is marked. It is marked by examiners who are trained at the same standard all over the world. They use marking criteria, which is partly accessible for the public. They use this and their training experience to give you a band score. You will find these band scores in your workbook on page 16 and 17. The band scores are divided up into 4 criteria for each task. So task achievement or response, cohesion and coherence, lexical resource, which is your vocabulary, and lastly grammatical resource. You are given a score for each one of these criteria categories, although you won't get to see what you got in each individual part. So for example, here they get a 7 for task achievement, a 5 for cohesion and coherence, a 6 for lexical resource, and a 7 for grammatical resource. They then get in task 2 a 6, a 6, a 7, and a 7, which overall would give you a score of 6. The scores are calculated as an average of each score. Task 1 can either be a formal, semi-formal or informal letter. A formal letter could be requesting information, for example, or writing a complaint. A semi-formal letter to your landlord, for example, and an informal letter to a friend. You have to write a letter using the information given in the task, and you have to write 150 words covering all the bullet points. Now let's look at the format for task 2. It is, as we said, a discursive essay, so an essay with discussion. It has to be a minimum of 250 words, although we don't recommend you write more than 300. There are 3 possible question types which you need to be aware of, as your answers will vary according to the type of question and how many parts there are to the question. In all question types, you need to give arguments and support them from your own ideas. The first type of question is, do you agree or disagree that there should be a set retirement age? Or, very similar to this, to what extent do you agree or disagree that there should be a set retirement age? So here, in this kind of question, we have 2 parts. You simply need to say if you agree or not. You don't have to discuss both sides, although it would give you a more balanced answer. The second type of question is, for example, this. Some people think that a fixed retirement age is a good idea, and others think that each individual should decide for themselves. Discuss both these views and give your opinion. In this question, you need to make sure that your answer covers all 3 parts in this question. It says both these views and give your opinion. So it is very important that you discuss both of these and give your opinion. We will look at this more closely in the essay lesson. And lastly, people work a lot more than they did 100 years ago. Do you think this is true for your society? What reasons are there for this change? Here there are two parts to this question, but you can give more than one argument or answer for each. But you must make sure that you do answer both of the questions. So the first question is, do you think it's true for your society? And the second part, what reasons are there for this change? Don't forget to give more than one reason. It asks for reasons. In lessons 2 to 5, you will practice the writing tasks. We can give you detailed feedback on the writing you do so that you have a good idea of where you are and what band score you would get. You can see an example of this in your training book on page 3 and on this slide. You will also get your writing back with the mistakes highlighted and corrections added. We give feedback using smileys as it is illegal to give band scores outside the test situation. This feedback is more precise than simply band scores, as it tells you in detail which of the 8 areas you're going wrong in and which you need to work on. Let's look at the example here. This feedback is for a student who needs a 7. When you upload your writing for feedback, you have to tell us the score you need, and we will base our feedback on that. As you can see, the student got a sad smiley for the task response, which means that it would not get more than a 5, and that the student needs to make changes to get a 7. Whereas the grammar, they've got a happy smiley as it fits the criteria in the description for a 7. We use the same criteria here as the examiner uses in the real test. That is the end of the overview for both writing tasks. And now you will go on to lesson 2, which is on task 1, writing a letter.